Hey there, it's VonTom2020.
And Wa2020.
And today we are welcoming you to a new world.
Yay!
Episode 1 of a new series, a fresh start.
The realm of Cydia.
So this series is going to be a little bit different from some of our last series, though, because we've got a little bit of a vision for this server. A long-term, builder-focused survival world dedicated to large, cohesive, and themed builds. Now, while Wa and I tell you about this, I'm going to share a little bit of footage of the initial exploration of the seed. So it's going to have how we saw certain areas that look great for major builds. But before we really dig in, please remember to hit the subscribe button and give us a like. So that said, if you watched our previous series on our first Java world, was it Mad Stacks? You probably remember me referring to it as the unfinished world.
Yeah, maybe a couple times.
Yeah, like constantly I was like, yeah, we didn't finish this, we didn't finish that. We had so many great ideas for builds that we just never did finish, and that's partly because we were still learning how to pace ourselves through the projects, and
we're learning how to scale the builds.
yeah, like our old trading hall, it was just 3 buildings in the middle of a field, you know, there's like nothing else to it.
Just plop, there it is.
Yeah, so we learned a little bit about terraforming and stuff, and we've started, the scale of some of these projects was wrong, you know, just they should have been bigger. So with all this in mind, we'd been looking forward to starting up a fresh new world, like a clean slate, if you will, where we could get a fresh start on some of our better ideas and build them in a vanilla-ish survival setting. Yeah, vanilla-ish. We'll have to explain that in a minute, but and yeah, we're going to be in hard mode, and we hope to be playing in this world for a long time. This is a long-term project, so we can really settle in and enjoy expanding our builds out, you know. And another important point is we wanted to take our time with this world too.
Yeah, the early world grind is really kind of fun.
Yeah.
The late game experience too is, and you have a base in a box and you have unlimited resources, but that early world scariness is...
Yeah, there's something special
hold on
about
to that.
You know? It's, you don't want the game to get too easy, right? But then again, you don't want to... I mean, who doesn't like Elytra?
Yeah, exactly.
And each of these parts of the game, they're fun in their own way. So we don't want to rush through the early phases and get all overpowered. But there's another part to it also, you know, when we rush through stuff and like start going to the end early in the game and things like that, we tend to rush through the builds, you know, like everything in Hobble, because we're just like hammering through it.
Yeah, on the other hand, we don't want to stay poor for too long. So fighting the dragon and end busting won't wait long.
Yeah, especially if we're doing big builds, we'll want those shulkers.
Yeah, for real.
So our vision was to create very large-scale builds that were themed and cohesive works, where the various structures would work together, complement the landscape around them, like terraforming, you know, and cities or kingdoms, you could say. And each one of these builds would be, it would have its own design, its own building style. And so they'd all be like little destinations, each to themselves.
And they're meant to be toured.
Yeah, like you'd want to visit, you know, this city or that city just to see how it blends into the landscape and how it's got its own style and everything, you know. And so a big part of this world was also to see them connected in the overworld by road as well as nether. Mostly because, well, the nether is all convenient and everything, but sometimes it feels like the various builds or the various people's bases or cities in this case, right? They feel isolated or disjointed from each other in the overworld and in the context of the overworld, so that nothing of the overworld is ever really seen between them. It feels like you just...
it's just a handful of bases.
Yeah, like, and you just see nether tunnels in between them, you know, you go through portals and you're there, and that's that. So we want to, you know, see the countryside a little bit, you know, and have little buildings along the way.
Yeah, so roads, bridges, and terraforming to connect these areas is important. And having these cities and kingdoms connected in the overworld will tie the entire realm together.
And we also, we need to have a little bit of a backstory for some of these different kingdoms or builds or whatever.
Yeah, just a little history to contribute the personality.
And so We also wanted to. We made a deal with ourselves.
It's a rule.
It's a rule. It's written in stone. It's written in a written book. Yeah, so even the farms that we build are going to get dressed up in the local theme. So no raw walls cut in the ground, no stone box shoeboxes,
No
stone
dirt.
brick, no stone brick shoeboxes, no dirt huts, no floating redstone contraptions. Every farm that we build will eventually get skinned up and styled, right?
Well, the early world stuff, like the starter base,
Yeah.
it's a bit raw.
Yeah. Well, early game, time and daylight and general resources, gear, it's all pretty limited. So, we got to be kind of careful. But once we get established, right?
Yeah, everything gets gussied up.
Yeah, we might even, we haven't really talked about this, but we might even go to starter base, which is a village we took over and pretty up a little bit.
Yeah, it just needs a little zhuzhing. It'll be okay.
Yeah, or we might just save it in perpetuity. Like this is what we did. This is the hovel we lived in.
And we used Hobble. So anyway, we did invite a couple of friends. They're going to join us on this journey. AndyTomo and TheMightyPenPen. They share our vision, and we asked them to help us early on to get the world set up.
Yeah, they're both pretty good builders and really good friends. So, yeah, we've got them along too. So we may invite others at a future date. We'll just have to see how things go. But we definitely wanted to finish up the basic infrastructure of the world first and get a little bit of, the basic stuff built, right?
Right.
So now, earlier we said vanilla-ish. Let's go ahead and talk about that.
Ish.
Yeah.
Talk about the ish.
So full disclosure about everything non-vanilla.
We have a couple of data packs on the server from Zysuma's Vanilla Tweaks.
Mm-hmm.
We used the more mob heads, double shulker shells, the universal die, amazing, and a multiplayer sleep.
Kind of necessary, that one.
Yeah, for builders, for sure.
Yeah, so that's all not exactly pure vanilla, but it isn't really egregiously cheaty either. And I won't apologize for using the mob heads tweak because that's like my personal thing,
Yeah, he loves it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to build a how about a mob head museum?
What? It's not going to be hidden away in your shulkers?
Yeah, I usually just stash it in the shulkers. So because when it comes to double shulker shells, I guess we might call that kind of cheaty. Right? Maybe. But the reality of it is that after you get to a certain point in the game, you kind of gotta have some courier shulkers. That's Wa's word. It's a good one for this.
It's a courier, yeah.
Yeah, so if you have like your personal base in a box with all your shulkers that have all of the stuff you need to, start a build anywhere, you can't exactly just empty them out in a chest all the time. It's a nice idea to have the output of your major large farms collected directly into shulkers for transport.
Yeah, someone's got to schlep this stuff around.
Yeah, and it's not a bad idea. I mean, a base in a box is cool and all, but what about two bases?
Yeah.
Just swap them in and out, right?
Right.
Anyway, so yeah, if you without shulkers, some of the large high output farms transporting the drops gets a little bit grindy.
Impossible.
Yeah, you make like 5 trips or you have to empty all your shulkers out. And since shulker shells are a non-renewable resource and cities are dangerous.
Maybe for you.
Yeah, and frightening.
Maybe for you.
Yeah, since because of all that, we felt it might be fair enough just bump the drop rates on the shulker shells a little bit. And so, in addition to this, I asked Wa to tweak the color of a few of my vanilla textures while still keeping the basic vanilla theme. So I've got an ashy colored netherrack, and my nether brick looks black. And my purpur is a little bit more of a deep violet leaning into purple. My diorite looks a little bit more like marble, much whiter, a little bit of a light gray texture to it.
We also use the Better Leaves and Custom Mobs add-ons from Germsy Boy.
And I'll probably do some rail duping, carpet duping, some zero-tick farms, maybe 2 2 or 3 small scale versions, but I'm only going to do that stuff when we need a massive amount of stuff.
Well, don't forget you got to skin it up too.
Yeah, and even if I build those things, they're going to get dressed up. They'll be in theme.
Eventually.
Yeah, but and we might use chunk base to find some slime chunks or biomes. But aside from that, we aren't going to change much, and all the gameplay is going to be strictly survival.
So let's tell them what we have planned.
So, what we have planned. Now, I do like redstone contraptions, and I really like to build the high output farms and stuff. So, we're going to have an industrial district.
Dibs on the cactus farm.
Dibs on the cactus farm. Okay, I'm going to do the kelp farm. Obviously, we've already got some ideas, right? So the style is going to be a little bit more of the turn of the century modern architecture, laid out like a modern city with streets, sidewalks,
and street lamps, and parks.
Yeah, and the area is going to be a little bit tricky because what we want to do is get the city built in such a way to where you got these nice big avenues and the buildings aren't leaning against each other or super close. We want to have breathing
room,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like in a modern city, the streets are wide, and we want to have it kind of laid out so that it's got a nice breathing room between the buildings, but we also want to have a consistent width in the roads and the sidewalks and stuff so that it doesn't feel all disjointed. So obviously that one's going to take a little bit more planning, right?
We have the concept down though.
Yeah, we did play around with some of the ideas, and it looked really fun, So another build I'm really looking forward to is a large nether build. I've never done a lot in a nether, like nether hub.
No, I did the roads last time.
Yeah, you did all the roads. That was kilometers worth of roads, right? But now like an actual like nether castle. And I want to do it with a perimeter, like a perimeter wall going around a Wither Skelly farm.
Ah, nice.
And yeah, obviously we'll do another hub and nether hallways or nether highways because it is very convenient. But I'd like that to not be the only way people get around, And those hallways will be themed, of course, not just raw netherrack and such, but. And the tunnels will be high enough ceilings for elytra flights.
Also donkeys.
And also donkeys.
That's a must.
It's an absolute must. And donkey travel in the overworld is pretty cool, too, really. So, oh, yeah. And I always wanted to do a special build at an end portal, too. Seems like such an important destination would have like a special build around it, right?
Just don't look down.
Yeah. I never really did that before. We always just kind of left it stone brick, and
yeah. Well, of course we'll need all the usual mob farms like the guardian farm. We'll need a creeper farm.
Yeah, and they'll get their own style too.
Yeah,
they'll be destinations.
So because this is a build focused server, we won't have server commerce. Everyone will contribute items to the common storage, and they'll do their part to maintain the various farms.
Yeah, everybody does a little bit of an AFK session somewhere, right?
Everybody's chore girl.
Everybody is chore girl one day. Also, in an effort to keep lag under control. Yeah, we're going to all of the large mob farms that have the potential for creating a lot of lag, like Guardian Farm or the Pigman Gold Farm, stuff like that. We're probably only going to do like one of each,
and to have an off switch when possible.
Yeah, all of the big farms are going to have an on-off switch, of course.
Or auto kill, sorry.
Or auto kill, yeah.
Yeah.
So, the focus here is that we're going to try to make them as efficient as possible, and of course, like I said, we're also going to try to make them really pretty builds, also.
Zhuzh it up.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty, yeah. So, of course, the centerpiece is going to be a trading hall, the Great Traders Guild of Cydia.
Everybody's shocked by that.
Yeah. We have a history here. The trading hall is always one of the first things that Juan and I concentrate on because once you get trades...
OP is just right there.
Yeah.
It's just waiting for you.
You get the right guys, you got the armor, you got the tools, you got the books, and you got a constant source of gems from the other guys. So yeah, that's going to be first, and it's going to have a little bit of a village, a little hamlet kind
Yeah,
of.
tell them about this. This is your other idea for the Trading Guild.
Yeah, it's going to be the Trading Guild will be the center of a say little hamlet village kind of thing, and all the buildings will be in a similar theme, a similar style, roads, gardens, paths, and that's not too far away from Spawn, right?
Oh, tell them about Spawn.
Yeah, Spawn is going to be an interesting little build. I was thinking about a couple of different ideas. I'm going to keep everybody guessing for the minute.
Even me, I kind of know.
But we're planning something that's going to make a really good entrance for visitors if we happen to have new people come on the server to look at things.
Or to build.
Yeah, or to build. It depends on how the future unfolds here, right? So this looks like a pretty good place to close the introduction out. So I'm hoping that you'll subscribe to the channel and keep track of us while we develop this new world. And hopefully we'll come up with some really awesome builds. And while you're here, please give us a thumbs up. We really appreciate the encouragement, too.
And we'd love to have your feedback on the different builds that we're doing, or if you have ideas to improve.
Yeah, make sure you drop us a note in the comments and tell us, maybe give us an idea of something that you'd like to see. So, that said, we'd like to thank you very much and have a great day.
Take care, y'all.
Bye.